Help me reach 4,000 subscribers. Show some love to the video with a like and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you. I never imagined the sound of my own heartbeat could feel unfamiliar. Like it didn't even belong to me. But that's what happens when your world fractures in an instant. When the person you trusted above all others becomes the one you should have never trusted at all. My name's Ethan Walker, 42 years old, born in Ohio. My life's been a shuffle of states and changing jobs. I work in commercial roofing. Nothing impressive, nothing glamorous. Just enough to cover the bills and keep roofs over other people's homes while mine was slowly splitting apart. And for 12 years I thought I understood my wife Lena. Turns out I didn't know a damn thing. It began subtly the way betrayal usually does. Girls' nights out that suddenly became too frequent. A new level of secrecy around her phone. A laugh that no longer felt like it had anything to do with me. I sensed it long before I could prove it. Like the cold shiver that hits right before a storm cracks the sky open. Still I stayed patient. I trusted her. I believed her. Then came the night everything caved in. She slipped up barely, almost harmlessly. A message preview flashed across her screen with a name I'd never seen. Can't wait to see you again. I replayed those words for hours like they'd been etched into my skull. I asked her about it, softly at first, then more firmly, then with the last scraps of pride I had left. She denied it, dodged it, cried, cursed, pulled every move in the book. But the truth pushes through eventually, even when lies are dressed up pretty. 2 days later I learned it all. Another man. For months. Right under my roof. People talk about heartbreak like it's loud. Like smashed glass or slamming doors. Mine wasn't. Mine was quiet. A slow, cruel dimming in my chest. A tiny death. I didn't shout. I didn't break anything. I didn't demand explanations. I just said, Lena, you broke something in me and I don't think it's coming back. I left that night. Crashed on my brother's couch, staring at a ceiling that wasn't mine anymore. Wondering how betrayal could feel both numb and blistering at the same time. For days I barely spoke. Went to work like a ghost wearing my own clothes. My coworkers could tell something was off but they didn't pry. Men don't usually. We just nod like we recognize each other's storms without needing the details. 2 weeks passed. No calls, no visits, no checking in. I thought that chapter was closed, even though the ink hadn't dried. Then the phone rang. It was a random Tuesday afternoon. I just packed up my tools when a number I didn't know lit up my screen. I almost let it go. Something made me answer. Is this Ethan Walker? Yeah. This is Mercy General Hospital. We have your wife Lena Walker admitted here. She listed you as her emergency contact. My stomach knotted up, and I stayed silent for a moment. My marriage was already rubble. She'd made her decisions. Still, emergency contact. That was a title I hadn't quite surrendered, no matter how desperately I wished I had. What happened? I asked. She's stable now, the nurse replied. But you should come. She asked for you. She asked for me. I should have felt nothing. I should have stayed home, cracked open a beer, told myself she chose this path. But curiosity, maybe guilt, maybe some leftover love. I didn't know what exactly. Pushed me into my truck. The ride to the ER blurred past red lights and a swarm of unanswered thoughts. Inside, the hospital glowed too bright, too clean, too full of life for how hollow I felt. A nurse guided me to a room hidden behind a curtain. I stepped through and stopped cold. My lungs forgot how to work. My heartbeat hammered against my ribs painfully. There she was. Lena. Hooked up to wires and monitors, skin washed out, fragile, eyes swollen from crying. Then the nurse said something that nearly dropped me where I stood. Your wife collapsed from extreme stress. She claims it was because of what she did to you. Lena looked up at me. Ethan, please don't leave. I need to tell you everything. I stayed rooted to the spot, as if the floor had melted around my boots. I didn't move. Didn't speak. I couldn't trust any emotion that threatened to spill out. Her voice quivered, thin, fraying. Ethan, please. I didn't step closer. I only stared at her. The woman who used to fall asleep on my chest every night. Who kissed me with a gentleness I once believed couldn't break. Now she looked like a ghost from a life already gone. What happened? I finally forced out. My voice sounded foreign. Not angry, not tender, just flat. She swallowed, tears sliding toward her hairline. It's been going on for weeks. Panic attacks, tight chest, no sleep, barely eating. Today, her voice shattered. I collapsed. I listened, unreadable. Not out of cruelty, but because the part of me that once ran to catch her had died the night her betrayal surfaced. I kept thinking about what I did to you, she whispered, eyes locked on the blanket in her fists. Every night, every morning, I destroyed the only good thing I had. And the guilt, it felt like it was suffocating me. Guilt. Funny how it always shows up late. I didn't call you to punish myself, she said. I called because I need to tell the truth. All of it. I drew a long breath and pulled a chair closer. I didn't sit beside her to offer comfort. I sat because my legs needed rest. Then she spoke. She drew in a trembling breath. It was never about you, Ethan. Not once. You were good to me. Reliable. You felt like home. But I grew bored of myself, not of you. I wanted attention. I wanted to feel wanted. And when someone else gave me that. Her voice crumbled before she could finish. I didn't hand her a tissue. I didn't hold her hand. I didn't tell her it was all right because it wasn't and it never would be. You burned everything we had for a moment of excitement, I said quietly. She nodded, face down. I know, and I hate myself for it. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just needed you to hear me say I'm sorry, while I still had the guts to get it out. For the first time since I walked in, I let my gaze meet hers. Her eyes were filled with regret. Real regret. Not the desperate kind people fake when they're caught. But regret doesn't change what happened. Ethan, she whispered, do you still hate me? The truth? I didn't. Hate takes energy, heat. I was empty, numb, worn out. I don't hate you, I said. But I don't love you anymore either. You broke something in me, and it can't be repaired. Her chin trembled. I figured. Silence seeped into the room. Not sharp or angry, just weighty. Like the last sound in a house being slowly swallowed by quiet. After a long pause, she said, I know you moved out. But when I collapsed, they asked for an emergency contact, and I couldn't think of anyone else. I didn't know if anyone still cared whether I lived or died. I exhaled. Not with sympathy, but like letting go of something old and worn out. I care that you're alive, I told her. But that's where it stops. She nodded, wiping her wet cheeks with unsteady hands. I understand. A doctor stepped in briefly, checked her monitors, then left. She looked at me again, this time with acceptance settling into her expression. I won't reach out again, she said softly. I just needed to say this once. Thank you for coming. I rose slowly. I wasn't angry. I wasn't heartbroken. I was simply finished. Take care of yourself, I said. She shut her eyes, as if those words hurt more deeply than anything else I could have said. I will, she whispered. I walked out without a backward glance. The automatic door slid open, and the cold evening air washed over me like a reset. For the first time in months, something inside me loosened. A weight easing off. A page turning. Her betrayal broke me, but hearing her truth released me. And as I headed for my truck beneath the fading sky, I understood something plain and steady. Not every ending needs forgiveness. Sometimes it just needs closure.